We're
DK.
being heard now. Okay.
Yeah.
I was talking all of the smack, by the way. I didn't I was calling both teams horrendous. Like I'll be like meta shift, worst movement play I've ever seen in my life. Like I'll
No, 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 no. They can hear us now. You know, you're allowed to be nice to teams, you know. No, but
Oh
real talk, that was a phenomenal play coming in from the Death Knights. Metashift, I said before, the player to look at and absolutely turned up that game, starting everything off with a flash predict on that bandage toss.
yeah. That was obvious, really good plays from him from start to finish. Putting down the top side as much as possible, and then towards the end of the game, Canny using that lead that he was able to get early on. Gets that level
Mm-hmm.
16 before Finity, and that obviously is going to help them kind of snowball into the end of the game. Even though it looked like SHS, they won a team fight with level 16 kills. Finity was able to get 3 kills off. The power, the split pushing Mundo is just too strong. Somebody's got to respond to him, and unfortunately, that ended up having them to lose out onto the game. But I would like to see is a little bit of a shift in terms of kind of frontline and engage for the side of
Mm-hmm.
SHS, because you got that Poppy, you got that Silas, but Silas had to respond to the Mundo. That leaves you with realistically no frontline because, well, True Minded is going to be pushing the gas pedal first. And as Poppy, that's kind of where you want to be, but you get Flash, Amuma ulted, or even Bandage Toss, like you get stunned up as a Poppy, like you kind of can't really do anything, and then you just die.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be really difficult. You need to find some way how to deal with the Amumu, and the Poppy alone is not going to be enough disengage, and you don't really have the same level of engage on the side of of the South Hill Scrappers, right? All you really had was the Poppy or Pyrosis once again getting a crazy Curse of the Sad Mummy across the entirety of the Death Knights. It's really just funny stun circle versus funny stun circle. And if that's your only real option to get back into the swing of things, I don't know if you can really be relying on that. I think the South Hill Scrappers need a more cohesive way to deal with that. And, just look to try to once again complete their Exodia compositions in the same way that they've been doing again and again and again.
All right. Well, it looks like we're going to go ahead and head on over to draft if we have our draft working. But in the meantime, we've been talking a lot about these team comps. We've been talking a lot about draft. What we haven't talked about is pro comps.
Yeah, I mean, ProComp's phenomenal tool available for you. I mean, it's completely free, has over 200,000 users. You can go ahead and download it. It is a draft coach that just absolutely helps you out, just based off of what your team plays, what the enemy team plays, what's currently meta, just gives you a lot of opportunities to really know what exactly it is that you can be looking here. I mean, as we noted, it's a live draft coach that you can use in the middle of your draft. It's fully Riot compliant, so don't you worry about that. And Cilantro, I gotta say, this is an absolute steal with a grand cost of $3. That's it, right? 0.00 free dollars.
$5. Take it or leave it.
Wait, hold on.
Anyway, unlike our draft, pro comps does not break on you, so you definitely can be relying on it later on as we are about to head into the game where we're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised. God knows what we're going to be able to see here, but we're going straight on into the game. But that will allow us a lot to talk about in the first 10 minutes when nothing really is happening.
Yeah. Either way, we're just gonna have to see what exactly we have in store for us today here. Honestly, I would love to see Finity's Riven come on back out, but we're gonna have to see what does come into play here. You can't always be falling back onto the Riven, but now game number 2 is upon us. Meta shift on to that Nocturne, taken away the Nocturne from the South Hill Scrappers, but here we go. All the way back to Season 5 Worlds, Darius Fiora.
Yep, this one's going to be one spicy of a matchup. Darius Fiora in the top lane, and then we got Nocturne and Zac rounding out the jungle. using that Nocturne as the ball delivery system for Michael Ross, and I'm excited. I'm interested to see that True Minded, not making a switch in the bot lane. Crushing Rock on the way, Mitsuki on the route. If it ain't broke, do not fix it. And honestly, I don't blame them putting Lord Tubbyton back on the Seraphine though, and opting, maybe the Kai'Sa got banned, but opting for a Jin this time around. My favorite AD carry in the game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really like Jin as a pick here. Does a lot of work with, just from super far away. I mean, you've always got the ability to use, not just the captive audience, but the deadly flourish to try to, stop up anything available. But right now, you know, if you look at the side of the South Hill Scrappers, so much of this team composition relies on Pyrosis for that DPS, relies on Finity to be that constant split pushing threat. So we're gonna have to see exactly what this team has in store for us. But once again, Crushing Rock always going to be onto that Hui. But I don't know, Canny already feeling pretty good about that level 1. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's looking to be able to run down this Fiora. Bleed stacked up to about 5. Is trying to find some sort of early game kill. Finity, maybe trying to go for the limit test, trying to scout out how the tempo of this is going to end up going. But unfortunately, Kenny giving themselves that early on lead. Probably whoever's going to hit level 2 first could find the first blood in the top lane. Actually, no, first blood goes in the mid lane. Michael Ross ends up following to Pyrosis on this Cassiopeia. Probably going to get a replay of that, but for now, keep your eyes onto the top side real quick because Kenny is underneath the turret and Sulpan is right around the corner, maybe looking for some sort of top side gank. If at all possible, to be able to help out this Fiora. They're going to go ahead. Zach goes in for the slingshot. Can they be able to find a kill? Kenny certainly is 1v2ing at the moment. Needs to land the next
Oh my
Q.
god.
Are you going to be able to find it? No, he's not going to end up deciding to go on to Finity. Does not have the flash. Q not going to be up in time. Is he going to go into the turret, though? That's going to be my question. And he's going to at least cancel one recall. Got to be careful. Uses the Q. They're going to go in for another jump, maybe. Nope, he's going to channel the recall instead. Meanwhile, Pyrosis is forced to TP back on in. I think that I want to say that I think that nothing is going to end up happening here into the top side with Finity being this low HP. Should be theoretically okay now that Soul Pen has gone. But wowzers, Candy putting out the tempo early in the top lane.
Yeah, so much of fighting against Darius in a competitive match is all about, oh yeah, we can just set Darius behind. He can't take teleport, so it's going to be very, very fine for us here because, Darius would flash teleport is honestly a little bit of a troll pick to say the least, but oh my god, who needs teleport when you can just get this solo kill? And Finity is down. The Darius is reigning supreme, and it's looking like a battle of the solo lanes as Death Knight solo laner Michael Ross going to be going down here. Pyrosis always looking to deliver.
2-0 and a Cassiopeia already anti. That's a carry champion and a half as well as the scaling that's on to the side of SHS. So I don't know. This one's not looking very great, but Michael Ross, has got the ball delivery system in the name of Meta Shift. So these shockwaves are going to be coming up big and useful throughout this match and later on into team fights. That's why I'm going to be expecting Michael Ross to kind of try and bounce back into this game because we have a roughly almost 700 gold lead already between the two mid laners. That's going to be like a full, almost, like almost.
That's a full component.
Yeah, like almost a full component there. I was trying to think of what she's building and like what component that could be, but I just was not.
Amp Tome.
Amp Tone is the.
It costs 400. It's
Yeah, I was
about a
gonna say
500 gold difference between the
400.
two.
Yeah. Anyway, but the Dark Souls Axe we're going to be looking at is Meta Shift's going to be trying to find an angle onto Pyrosis. Does not have level 6, so will not have the Paranoia. We're able to flash it and land the Fear Bar, though. Soulpan is in on the chickens, though, there for the counter game, but it will not matter. As Michael Ross is able to clean up the kill and go and find their way back into this lane, potentially. Even Lord Tubbyton was actually running up through the jungle there, if we saw it briefly. So maybe they could have waited out a little bit to try and fight the 3v2 that could have came out on top, but everything just happened so fast. Unfortunately, not able to do that.
Yeah, and that's a huge shutdown for the side of the Death Knights. Might not necessarily have been a shutdown in terms of the gold, but at the very least, a kill going over to Michael Ross is a very, very large boon here. Remember, when you have Nocturne Oriana, if you could choose one of the two to be super fed, you want it to be the Oriana, because as long as that ball gets into the right position, things are looking fine here. But speaking of right position, oh baby,
Pan
Soulpan
going
in the
for
right position at
the
the right time, all the
baby.
way under
All
tower.
the turrets before Tubbyton should fall, but it gets executed from the turret. It's just Mitski left alive. Crushing Rock ends up going down to the gank. He's 1 HP. Crushing Rock's TPing back on in. The W snare, it rents the root, but Mitski gets the shield off. Now Crushing Rock is going on in, trying to find another kill, but Soulpan's jumping back into the fight. Shattering Strike's going to be able to find this Zac. Can he be able to go 1-for-1? Yes, he will. He gets killed, comes back, and trades his own life. That's absolutely phenomenal coming out of Crushing Rock. Meanwhile, Pyrosis is roaming on down, Shattering Strike into the Spywing Strike. Can they be able to find a kill? Borla drops to about a quarter of HP, but Pyrosis is in the area for the peel for his enemy, for his teammate AD carry, and it's going to be just a 1-for-1 into the bot lane.
Yeah, in the end, the teleport, advantage going to be getting denied there, but the longest tower dive of all time going to be working out in the favor of the Death Knights. I mean, everything just turned up just fine as the Void Grubs are taken on the opposite side of the map. Soulpan just went a little bit too ham, went a little bit too crazy, tried desperately to set Crushing Rock behind here, but in the end, it isn't going to amount to too much here, as Canny just running away with this lead in the top side. And welcome to top lane in competitive. You die once, you die the rest of the laning phase, or you don't get to play the game here. When you're down more than 25 CS, this is essentially the same as getting killed multiple times.
Yeah, and we talk about the fact that Kenny also has a full almost level and a half lead over Affinity. Affinity should be hitting level 6 soon off of this massive wave. As Mitski's roaming on up, they want to be able to find a kill before
Oh boy.
Affinity is able to hit level 6. This could be absolutely disastrous for Affinity. Not hit level 6 just yet. They're going for the tower dive. Paranoid comes out of the meta shift as well. Knockup's going to be able to come on out. Eating the turret shots is Mitski on the rail. The fear bar is going to end up landing. Pull back into the knockup. Mitski eats all the turret shots. Katie finds the kill. Affinity does not hit level 6, and now is going to be even further behind.
Yeah, and just like that, the Death Knight saying, hey, thanks for that tower dive in the bot lane. What if we repay you by tower diving your top laner? Mitski going all the way on over to make that one happen. The dragon is going to be taken in response by the South Hill Scrappers, but man, is it feeling good for the Death Knights right now.
100%. All right, the dragon will be traded on out. SHS trying to find something as possible to just keep themselves in this game. I mean, they've got Pyrosis that they could play around, and so far there's going to be a carry of the side laners this game. Can the Darius be able to go into the late game against this scaling and tankiness that Soulpan's going to have on the Zac and be able to find a way to carry out this game? As we know, Darius can kind of fall off later on into the game if you can't find those kind of solo or solo assassinations, or you can't play very well off of the engages of his team. But he's got a great team that engages before him for him to come in on the backhand and pump out that damage. With the Rel could be the ball delivery, or
Oh,
even
this
the
is
Nocturne could be the
rough.
ball delivery. But this is not looking
That's a
very good.
freeze.
Yeah, the Darius is about to freeze this. Affinity is not having a fun time at the top
Okay.
side.
Doesn't end up actually opting to freeze, just ends up clearing it out fully, just wants to be able to pressure those towers. But Manfinity's just not having a good one.
No,
Yep.
definitely not. But what we can talk about is how Affinity can come online later. So Affinity on this Fiora, split pushing menace. Eventually, once gets this Triforce, once gets a little bit more items in the back pocket, might be able to fight back against this Darius. The Darius is going to have to respond to the split pushing Fiora, or Michael Ross is going to have to respond to the split pushing Fiora. Someone's going to have to, and that's going to pull one of these carries out of the fight. If you get this Darius in the side lane 24/7 throughout the rest of this game, that's exactly where you want to be for SHS, because Pyrosis is so far ahead right now that they can just pump out this damage on the Cassiopeia, be that carry for SHS, and just basically Finity is going to do what Canny did last game as a great shockwave into the mid lane. Paranoia comes out, flash for flash, he gets two. Michael Ross completely outplays the tower dive.
Yeah, Michael Ross with meta shift in his back pocket, going to be able to survive and come out way on top of that one. And another opportunity for the South Hill Scrappers to try to find their way back into the game just gets flipped on its head. The coin flip's just not working out for this team. In the meantime, top lane looking like the entire tower is about to go down. Finity in a lot of trouble. The teleport being committed to that mid lane here. And now there's no one who can stop Canny in that top lane. Just going to continue to push down this lane here. Void Grubs are available. Sopan looking to try to contest this, but I'm not sure if this is a good idea.
Yeah, he's gonna go in for it. He wants to be able to at least smite one. He smited
Oh,
Mitski! He smited the support! It's absolutely unfortunate. And the Darius just sitting over on the opposite side of the wall is gonna hit the blast stone, just trying to get in on the fight. The Ghost is gonna end up being Proxus. Spirals is
oh,
gonna be able to find the sun up onto only the Darius. It's a two-man Magnus Storm, though. They're gonna continue to bear on this fight! It's a massive heal off of the Q coming out of Kenny. And the Zac passive is not gonna be able to save you from the Darius spin this time around. This true-minded team is firing on all cylinders, and I am here for it.
yeah. And I gotta say, that's tough, right? I mean, Sulpan tried to go for something a little cheeky, tried to E over the wall while getting that drive-by smite instead. Just barely misses out on the smite, smites Mitski, and, not quite going to be able to make it work. And Sulpan, once again, is, here as a substitute for Asian Jason, their usual jungler, but it's a rough position to find yourself in.
100%. Now we've got a 3-0 Darius. The Nocturne's looking pretty strong right now, too. And the two AP carries have their Luden's companion power spikes as well. We got about a minute 25 going into this next dragon. I'm looking at the Paranoia that's online. I'm looking at the Hoy Ultimate. The Magnet Storm should be online by the time we get towards this dragon fight. The Shockwave out of Michael Ross could be absolutely devastating here against this SHS team. But for now, we still got a little bit of ways before we can get there. Soulpan still trying to make something happen across this map at some point. And the Seraphine Charm's gonna go wide. It's two-man knock him in the Shattering Strike, and it just goes completely south for SHS once again. Crushing Rock finds the kill onto Soulpan on this Zac. Mitski continuing to barrel on forward. Maybe he's trying to get onto board. Shattering Strike just barely out of range. Jin Snare not gonna find Crushing Rock because no abilities have ended up landing. But Soulpan, we got 40 seconds before the drag starts. You can't be doing that. You gotta go. You gotta farm, get your first item, come back, and then take the fight potentially.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I will say, right? Sulpan right now just trying to make something happen. And when you're this far down in gold, I think that's exactly what you need to be doing. You need to be grouping up. You need to be looking to make something happen across the map here, because your options right now is wait until you get outscaled and just absolutely die, or try to force something to happen. Canny now going on a rampage, able to just, dive Finity as much as he wants. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. You need something to happen. You cannot let this game state just continue as it is. Are the plays working out? Unfortunately, not quite. But the idea is there. Sulpan not going to be sitting down taking this one, just without a fight whatsoever here. And that's the way how we're viewing the entirety of the South Hill squad. They're still trying to make stuff happen. They're still trying to fight. But in the end, the Death Knights, despite falling behind early in that mid lane, are now doing so unbelievably well for themselves. Orion and Nocturne, still a disgusting combination to be dealing with.
Yeah, and don't forget to mention, we haven't talked about them much, but Mitski is still, pulled out wonders on the Rel last game. I'm going to be expecting those Magnet Storm Shockwaves later into the game to be coming online as well. It gets the champion twice in a row. You can't let them do what they want whenever they want. That's just now. It's just going to go ahead and push on towards this Rift Herald. Just continue to try and spiral this gold lead. That's almost at about 7K already, and we're only 15 minutes on into this game. On the bright side for SHS, you do have at least one dragon. So, and some of your laners, not too far behind. Pyrosis is still a win con that you can kind of play around, and Borla on the Jin isn't entirely far behind. No, maybe down a kill, but has the CS to kind of like make up for it. So you still have two win cons that are on the board right now. Affinity maybe not able to play around Soulpan. You just need to be a tank and just go in for your team and just tank up everything and as much as possible. Also, I think our thing's bugged because there's no way Soulpan does not have first item by now, and he only has Sunfire and Chain Vet.
No,
I
I
think
think Soulpan just straight up doesn't have much of any gold.
there,
Okay, just has not backed yet.
okay, so he hasn't. I was gonna say he just hasn't backed and bought it. I was gonna say there's no way he doesn't have enough for first item by now, but he
You
should
know,
be. He
man's
should be
struggling
getting
a
it
little
whenever.
bit, but you know, junglers do sit on quite a bit of gold.
As someone who has done that before, yes, junglers do tend to do that.
All right, but either way, now that we're back into the swing of things, what the South Hill Scrappers need to do, they need to group up, try to make something happen, but not just as 2 or 3 or 4. They need to group up and throw all 5 members of Exodia into the mix here. You can't be drafting an Exodia composition without all 5 members here. Soulpan trying to make something happen still, but at the very least, keeping Finity from getting dove under tower yet again. The Fiora fell behind early in what started as a 1v2 masterclass from Canny, and it has only gotten worse from there.
Yeah, definitely. Michael Ross now is going to be pivoting on into the spot lane. They're going to get a little bit more turret gold into the pocket of this Orianna. And honestly, I do not blame them. Mitsuki's going to go up and be able to spot out the Lord Wtom is looking to come on down. But they
Oh
want to go
boy.
for this tower dive anyway, trying to find Pyros is forcing out the flash. And it's a great
Oh,
actual stun coming on out. But they're not able to find the kill. Shattering Strike TP is going to be coming on in. This one, I believe, is Finity coming down as the curtains are going to be called. The Seraphine Charm only finds Mitsuki. They used just about 4 ultimates to get the enemy support. If you are true-minded, honestly, you are more than kind of okay with that because Candy is just running amok in the top side still. Nobody able to deal with him. And we got about 2 minutes for this next dragon. I don't think. Oh, okay. No, probably all those ults will be back online by then. Yeah.
yeah, they'll likely be back online there. And this is exactly what I was talking about, Cilantro, where the South Hill Scrappers need to make something happen together as a team. Once they're able to get everyone to the right spot at the right time, they can punish them directly for that one. Finity looking to make something happen on the Michael Ross. Not so much mana left onto that Orianna, but still not enough gold in the world to make this Fiora able to catch up to that Ori.
Metashift is wanting to go straight down in on the Fiora, but realize there's a turret there. Can't really dive that. May be able to push out the wave at least, though. 1 minute until the next dragon's going to be online. This will be the second one of the game for True Minded. And he's going to maybe try and go for an engage on a Metashift. Knows that the team is coming on down, has him. But look at this. They're sending Canny into the bot lane now. Threaten this bot side tier 1. Threaten the bot side tier 2. You know, get him in these split pushing lanes. Coincidentally enough, it falls in line with where the next dragon's going to be. TP's coming on down. It's going to end up being a 2v4. Make that a 2v3. Can he force to burn out the flash? Paranoia's going to end up getting procced. Mitsuki's coming in from the river. This could be a full-on fight into the jungle. Brola has a perfect angle for a curtain call if needed, but it's not going to be online just yet. So only Paranoia ends up getting used though there. Actually, no, Crushing Rock burns their ultimate as well through that fight. But TPs were used out of both sides. Everyone's going to be here potentially for this Dragon Strike. Michael Ross is going to be the one engaged on, but not able to find the arm toss. So this is going to be the fight that honestly, this could either put SHS even further behind, or this could be their potential turnaround for this game.
Yeah, I mean, Metashift did back early on in that fight here, is going to be able to be back in time for the Dragon. No ultimate available, though. Slopan's still trying to make something happen in that bot
Oh
lane,
my God.
but can he? Oh my God. The question isn't can he, the question is whether or not anyone can do anything.
Upon, uses the ultimate, but gets feared up from the Nocturne. The passive should get Proctor, burns out the flash. Is going to be everything for now. Shouting, that's going to be this power strike, not in a blending. Look at Canny though. He's still holding this kind of flanking position, threatening. He's spotted out where the Jhin is. Mitsuki spotted it too. Ghost in the back pocket of Canny will be able to run down this Jhin. Not going to get procced. Not looking like he's going to end up just settling for the wave. You know, he's going to continue to chase down this Jhin. But I don't think he's going to be able to reach him. Jhin having the movement speed off of hitting this 4 shots. Instead, now going to be channeling up a recall. And Kane's just going to just take some jungle camps.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking rough for the side of the South Hill Scrappers here. Finity getting slowly chased down in this bottom lane. Nothing that they can do against this team here. The Rift Herald is going to get popped. And just like that, Soulpan does not even have a jungle that he can take in response. But there we go. Herald going down, the Void Grubs getting spawned, and oh my lord, not enough wave clear in the world to stop this one.
Yeah, Michael Ross Michael Ross just drives the Rift Herald into the wall. They realizes that they don't have an angle to be able to go forward anymore. Baron is going to be up online. They just banked a ton of gold. This team of True Minded, they should be able to just return to base, cash in some of their gold, and then maybe look to move towards the top side, move towards this Baron fight. We see almost everybody on the side of True Minded has a gold lead over their opponent, except miraculously this Borla on the Jin still sticking in it, still sticking in this game, even though he's down a kill. He's farming like a warlord up there, just keeping this himself alive, keeping this Jin as a win con for the team. Actually, does have now that Hui is going to be recalling, should be matching the items, but has its second item before the Hui recalls and buys theirs.
Yeah, but I don't know. Horizon Focus in comparison to just how much to Horizon Focus in comparison to that rapid fire can just bring so much more damage, so much more utility than that RFC could ever hope to give Borla here. As you know, the Jin's still not opting to fully complete the boots. I might need a little bit more move speed to stay alive in a few of these fights here, but honestly, Borla hasn't really been having much trouble with that. It's mostly been the frontliners who've been getting taken down by this Nocturne Orianna, by this Darius and Canny. Speaking about that Darius, gonna be going all
He
in
dodges
here.
it. He dodges Pyrosis' ultimate. The hammer comes down, and so does Pyrosis. That could open up this Baron angle for the side of True Minded. Kenny putting in the work, putting up an MVP performance for the side of True Minded here tonight. They're going to be able to zone Sulpan out of this. The Spiral Strike comes down and just forces Sulpan out of the bush. No vision though. Kenny's around the corner. Paranoia comes out. But where is the Nocturne going? He sets a
Whoa!
shockwave. He's going to deliver a shockwave to the enemy bot lane of SHS. And it's just going to be Sulpan left trying to slingshot himself on out of there. But they're running him down. They're going to care about the turret. They're going to proc that Zac passive. They've got 6 Void Grubs. They've got the minion wave coming on in. A TP onto the Zac passive to keep him alive. But it's a last-ditch effort. Crushing Rock finds the kill anyway. Finity maybe able to trade 1-for-1. It might be possible. Trying to run down on the Mitsuki, flashes for it. Is unable to find the kill though. Double kill. Mitsuki flashing over the wall to save themselves and stop Pyrosis from being able to clean up the kill. And it's just all going downhill for SHS.
Oh man, only 67 health left onto Mitsuki, just still find a way how to survive in the very end there. And I'm going to say it, Cilantro. It has been a hard-fought game for the South Hill Scrappers, but in the end, I'm almost certain the Death Knights are just looking to take this one soon enough. It would be a monumental throw to get to that point here. 13,000 gold ahead at 23 minutes in here. And just like that, True Minded Gaming's Death Knights with the Baron on all 5, looking to walk it straight down mid lane and put an end to this fiasco.
I don't know what SHS can do. I genuinely don't. Your jungler is down 3 levels, and just about 2, almost 3 items. Top lane is just so far gone. Kenny is putting up an godly performance. Call him LeBron James at this point because he's doing absolutely God's work for this team. And Michael Ross started off rough, but like I said, those team fights where he was going to shine on this Orianna, and we just saw the ball delivery system in action on the Paranoia Shockwave combo in the mid lane there, that could potentially be sealing the deal for this team. Sulpan maybe getting caught out in his own jungle. Canny running it down. Strikebreaker just to be able to delay the movement speed. He's going to commit the ultimate. Team committing to the fight. Sulpan has to flash on away. Paranoia's going to be coming down. They're looking for the engage onto the backline where the Fioras end up landing. Canny is in the middle of all of them, and he's just not falling over the wall. Mitsuki with the Magnet Storm's going to land the Shining Strike on the Pyrosis, and they're going to be next on the chopping block. True Minded Gaming coming out big in this statement game for Vanquisher. I don't know which week this is. I'm going to assume it's week 3 because we're going into week 3 of Immortal. So they come out with a stellar 2-0 victory over SHS. Now, I believe both these two
Look
teams
at the grubs!
we all love the grubbies. But True Minded Gaming, last ditch effort at the curtain call, but unfortunately, the show has been ended for you, SHS. It might be Jin's last performance this time.
Yeah, and the Nexus goes down in a dominant game for the Death Knights, 4-20. And I
Nice.
cannot believe how crazy that was. Canny starting it off with an insane 1v2 performance in that top lane. And Michael Ross did not have a great early game. You know, got solo killed twice by the Cassiopeia, but in the end, puts out so much damage. Metashift just came in super clutch with that Nocturne gank to turn it all around for the mid lane. And in the meantime, Crushing Rock on that way, just always able to put out a ton of pressure. Mitsuki, as always, with the beautiful engages on that rel. And in the end, the Death Knights coming out on top. It's just looking so good each and every time.
All right, everybody. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Congratulations to True Minded Gaming on the victory. And we will see you later on throughout our regularly scheduled programming. I don't know. Usually I'm doing an outro for the week. We're done for the week. But I guess there'll be more Titan tomorrow. I don't remember which league. I think it is I don't remember, actually. Anyway.
Oh, man. You got to study up.
I believe, let me check up real quick, that the other Vanquisher League match is still going on. Yep, so we're probably going to go ahead and throw it on over to them. It is FS versus T3. I'm sure Anti knows those two teams very well. But they are going into match number 3. So go wish them luck, and we will see you all next time.
All right.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say